Hello and welcome to episode 134 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this fine evening, as always, the one, the only, the Cornhusker, Perry Burkum.
Hello, hello, hello.
How do you do, good sir?
I do quite well. Guess what I'm drinking tonight?
Corn juice?
You got it. Darn tootin'.
No, I just drink all the butter that ran off the corn.
Dude, I drink corn juice.
Corn lathered up in butter.
Used in lots of things. Yeah, man.
But if I had to guess, I'm gonna say Coke Zero.
Nope, it's not carbonated. And I crafted it myself.
Is it a cup of Joseph?
Joseph. It's H2O with a squirt of grape flavoring stuff that I got from Aldi.
All right. So just like a grape little grape drink?
It's like grape drink.
Do I sound different, Perry, to you at all?
You sound like you have like less teeth.
I'm down 2 wisdom teeth. I'm dumber than I was this time last week. Yeah. I'm less
Was
smart.
that today? Oh no, when was that?
That was yesterday.
How was it? I mean, you sound great. You don't.
Yeah, it wasn't actually
drugged out of your gourd.
Well, it wasn't too bad at all. Because they were already like through, you know, like they'd already broke the skin, so I didn't have to go to like a specialist or anything. I like the regular dentist just did it right then and there. And actually, I guess they originally scheduled it like or like billed it as like, all right, it was going to be like a surgical removal. But then it ended up just being routine because I guess so it was like they numbed it up and the numbing took longer than the actual yanking. And it was weird because I was like, all right, like my mouth is definitely numb, but I was like, I feel like my tooth area is not that numb at all. And then he was like, all right, you feel any of this? I'm like, no, I don't feel a thing. He's like, all right. And then like 2 minutes later, one was out. And then like 2 more minutes later, the other one was out. And that was that, you know? I was like, all right.
Yeah.
They came out nice and easy, and honestly, like, it didn't really. I took like 2 Tylenols last night, and that was it. I feel fine.
Good for you, man. You got a good dentist. I have an amazing dentist,
and his name's Casey.
No way.
Yep.
Wow. Where I got a cavity filled like not too long ago, and they stick that drill in there, which rattles your skull, And it's not supposed to feel anything, but like he put some of the numbing stuff in there. Like, does he feel that? I'm like, yeah, I can feel that. Yes. like you're just like you're drilling into a nerve. Like, oh. And I'm sitting there like, be a man, Perry. But no, I don't think it's. I was like,
it's not me.
Supposed
it's you.
To feel like I want to die. Like, is that? I'm not supposed to feel like. He's like, no. No, and then they put some more numbing stuff and came back five minutes later.
Yeah, it's actually funny because as a kid, I mean, I won't lie, like as a kid, I was horrible with like brushing my teeth. Like I brushed my teeth like once a day, but like I was like
as a kid.
Yeah, like I was just bad, like I got tons of cavities when I was younger.
I didn't watch you brush once at PAX.
Yeah, that's why I did it after you fell asleep. I swear. No, so I had a bunch of cavities when I was little, and like I really hated the feeling of being numb, like getting like because then I'd be like my face feels weird, and like my mom said I'd be like punching myself in the face when I was like not punching it, but like hitting my face, like I can't feel anything. So the one time I was like, I'm not doing it. I was like, I don't want any numbing stuff, and they're like, are you sure, man? And I was like, yeah, I don't want it. And man, I just with no Novocaine at all, I just got it drilled. I don't know how I did it, dude.
Dude, you're sick.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, I think back to that and I'm like, Jesus, like what was I thinking? But anyway,
I don't know.
Talking about teeth here, I think it's time.
Just so we can we'll get straight. So anyway, let's get straight to the games that we've been playing.
Yeah, we got some quick bites, son. Quick bites. Yes, sir. I've got a whole bunch of little quick bites here. I'm going to start off with some Mario Tennis Aces. Jumped back in. Yeah, Caitlin and I like playing some dubs in the Aces, so we bust that out every once in a while, and we went and I got Kamek, the April character of the month, which again you unlock by just going and doing one online tournament. And yeah, tricky. He's got a big nasty hook on his shot. But yeah, I mean, it's a really fun game to just be able to jump back into, play some matches, and get at it. I wish though that they would add like more stadiums, because it's like the same stadium with like different courts, you know, like grass or clay or hard or whatever. But they all like pretty much visually look similar, and like one's at night, which is cool. But it's like I was saying to Caitlin, like how nice would it be if it was like, oh, we're going to the Bowser court, you know, and it's like there's, you know, big flame goblets like on the corners, and there's statues of Bowser, and you know, like the crowd's all, you know, minions and dry bones and stuff. And then now I'm at DK's stadium, and it's out in the jungle, and I know they have like a jungle level, but like it would just be cool if they made some more stadiums available.
Yeah, man.
And it did,
like in Mario Golf.
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't want to say it would be easy to whip up a new stadium, you know, but like it's just like the state, like you've got the courts already. It's just building the aesthetic around it, essentially, right? So you'd think it wouldn't be that much effort, but I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like I said, I know it would take time and stuff, but like it doesn't seem like it'd be so far-fetched out of the realm of possibilities, you know,
of course not.
Especially when they're giving away a bunch of extra new free characters for free, so.
Right.
I'm chugging along in Final Fantasy VII. Just chugging along.
Chickadee chug chug.
A Chinese chicken. A do 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 do. I forget the rest of the words. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII, loving it. Obviously, just chugging along, baby.
So I mean, like, are you playing this? I mean, more handheld, like at work, or like are you playing it at home, or?
It's been a nice. I've been majority playing at home, but it has been a nice mix of like, oh, the mech game's on, like I'm gonna, you know, play some handheld. Oh, like.
So it's been a good passive experience.
Yeah, and like what's nice is like the one area I was like a little underleveled, and I was like, you know what, like ×3 speed, let's go. And then like honestly, like you know how I said they have that pretty much auto win, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna use that for grinding, because it's like I'm gonna kill these enemies anyway, right? Why not do it a little quicker?
Yeah. Sure.
So I was like, that it works well for grinding. Like I went up a bunch of levels and got to the area, and like I said, I never use it when I'm fighting like a real boss, or like when I go through an area for the first time. Like I'm not using that like auto, you know, unlimited limit break.
I'm telling David.
Yeah, cheater. I started Blaster Master 02. I will admit I started that the other day and played a little bit of it, and then I picked up a review game, which I will be talking about outside of the Quick Bite section. That's sort of taking up my time. But I do want to get back to some Blaster Master as well. And then finally just dabbling in a little bit of Smash Bros. Picking it up, playing some games. Playing with a little young Link, the young Link action. And I was watching some videos on like combos, and like I was like, maybe I can get decent at this game, and then I quickly realized probably not. But
yeah,
but like it is interesting. It's funny like to go online and watch some of these, you know, pro players sort of give breakdowns. Like, well, you know, you want to maybe follow up this attack with this kind of attack, and then when you go sort of see like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, and how you can sort of chain some things together. Like I said, I don't think I would have. I'm gonna put in enough time to be able to actually get that good at it.
Smash tournament?
Nah, I ain't that good. But
not even
maybe one day
if you're lonely.
Yeah. If I'm lonely and I wanna get my butt kicked in Smash. But yeah, that's.
I just came here for the friend. Oh, I just came here for friends.
Yeah. Oh, where are they?
Hey man, you suck at Smash. Oh, I just came here to meet some new friends. Yeah. Are you going to be my friend?
Yeah. No, not with you. You suck.
Yeah.
What would I benefit from hanging out with you?
I host a Nintendo podcast.
Yeah, well, beat it. Yeah. I bet you're one of those kids who likes to play with items on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Only sometimes.
Yeah, I will be talking more about Smash, I believe, in the news.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I think our quick bites are over.
They done. The the appetizers are out of the way, and we're ready to rock and roll now.
So I've been playing a recently released Nintendo game that features our favorite green dinosaur, like we said last week, Yoshi. In his new game, Yoshi's Crafted World. That is, but
that was him jumping and
was that Donnie
fluttering the legs?
Oh, okay.
Yes, it was Donnie.
Gotcha.
Not me. Definitely not me.
Gotcha. Yoshi's Crafted Island is great. It's very, very much a Yoshi game, you know, like Alex talked about last week. You know, it's very pretty, and I think I just echo a lot of what Alex said with the. You know, the aesthetic is definitely a lot more crafty, where everything like looks like it was made for that exact scene and moment at time, and not so much like an asset building. I created this level, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
like I'm gonna use this on multiple areas within the game.
Yeah, and the depth of the game is really cool, right? That whole concept of it's kind of like it's totally like a 2.5D game. That is because it's not fully 3D, but you can go into like that Z coordinate in some areas where you can go straight back, you know, and straight forward, and that's
usually when it's like I feel like the few areas I've seen that sort of pop up where it'd be like, oh wait, there's a cloud like on that sort of plane, right? And then you can sort of shoot further, you know, up and down.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, the handling of the throwing into the foreground and the background is really well done. I mean, just like you can really hit what you think. I mean, there's some jankiness with it, but for the most part, it's pretty good. And it just makes me think, like, does Yoshi need to go into like the 3D realm of platforming? And like, I wonder what that would look like and how awesome that'd be.
You mean in sort of like Odyssey?
Yeah, or like 3D Land. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you got to think like they basically are in some areas. It has that. I mean, it's just kind of the diorama effect. But what if Yoshi was fully 3D? Now, obviously, the egg throwing is different, right? Because then, like, the egg throwing still is in like 2 dimensions on the game, so they'd have to change that. But yeah, and then the other thing that I think the game is crucially missing. I believe I probably talked about this when Yoshi's Woolly World and Poochie came out on 3DS. But I think what this game is missing, excuse me, is the Baby Mario on the back. Now, I know that was the biggest thing, right? Like, you know, it was so annoying that everyone says it's annoying.
The crying,
you know,
when you get hit and you gotta chase the baby.
It is annoying. But that's a huge part of the game. Like, it's a huge thing where it's like, if you get hit once, oh crap, I gotta go get that. Oh, it's flying away. I have it on.
There's a bunch of guys trying to take it.
And then even that's how you lose. I mean, like if you get away, you're done. The level starts over. Like, whoa, like that's tough. You know what I mean? And that's just completely gone in this game.
It adds the challenge, baby.
Yeah, and I just like the challenge. I don't know why they thought that they need to make it super, super easy. I don't know. But, I mean, I'm not saying that they should have the exact Baby Mario and have the crying thing. But, or just, you know, change it
just some sort of element to give
something.
You...
I mean, that wasn't that bad, right? I mean, everyone says, I mean, even Alex was saying, you know, this is the best Yoshi game since Yoshi's Island. So obviously it's not that bad because Yoshi's Island still is kind of known as the best platformer, the best Yoshi platformer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the original. And that has it's just like, I think that, you know, people are getting a little, I just think that that's a crucial element. It's just completely gone now. And it's like, okay, now this game isn't really now it's kind of like go at your pace and there's no really...
There's no pressing. I know. There's no friction, essentially. Yeah. It's just...
And it's like
and that's
that feeling of getting hit and then being like, oh, crap, and I get my baby. Someone get my baby. You know, like you know, that feeling cropping up. I mean, it's and then like when you fall off a platform, you're like, oh crap! Like Mario's all the way up there, he's floating away, and I have to jump up here, and then you know the 10 seconds go down, and then it's gone.
And especially in Yoshi's Island, I feel like those, like if you were aiming for you know, a complete run and having like the full health and everything, that was tough. Like and like you know, there wasn't a lot of extra life laying around where it's like, oh, I can get hit a bunch of times and still perfect this level, you know?
Right.
It really felt, you felt the tension, and like you said, you didn't want to get hit because it really did like give you that like, oh crap, like, there was a consequence, you know?
Right. And I just think the little stars that work for the time, you know, with the Mario just make a lot of sense. And without it, it's just kind of weird. Like you just get hit and then you lose stars and you have to collect them more. It's just a health system now.
Now, are there like an abundance of stars to collect? Like, would you say you get hit and you don't really care because you know you're probably still going to be able to hit that max level when you leave? Or, you know what I mean, the max health?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. There's like little checkpoints that give you like, you know, like 30%. And then like you can find them like in hidden cloud stuff and just normal stuff. So I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten, maybe once time I've finished a level without everything. Maybe once. But yeah, it's too easy. The game's too easy. You know, it's unfortunate, but I think it's the same thing with Woolly World. It's a fantastic game. I think it's a lot of fun. But I mean, they're really pushed down for kids to play. And that's cool. I mean, I like it definitely. I like it a lot more than Kirby.
Well, now yeah. I feel. I mean, I've always liked Kirby more. You know. Excuse me, Yoshi more than Kirby. Like Kirby games are fine, but like to me, it's like Kirby. It's like if there's anything about just going through the motions, you know, like it's Kirby. You know.
And there's some really neat stuff that they do in Yoshi's Crafted World. Like I haven't gotten very far at all. Like that's the other thing. I've only played a couple hours. And you know, there's one level that, and Alex talked about it last week, how there's a lot of just different like mechanics in every level that like are only in that level, you know? And one of them was like a magnet, and it was really cool because like you have to get a magnet, find it, you know, it's hidden somewhere. And then you have to actually throw it onto a big, huge metal can to jump onto it so that you can jump up to higher places, you know. And then like you have to go find, and then there's like area where you have to find two. So there's like little exploring, finding them, you know, grabbing them, puking them out onto the things. It was cool. It was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And the levels are really long. And you know, there's just lots of exploring, checking behind every single crevice, which it's perfect for that because it's a crafted game. And so it's really like, what is around here? Oh, that's neat. It's cool. Everything is unique. I like it, you know. It's just a really chill game. So it really is not a game, though, that like I am like having tons and tons of fun playing. That I am just like, can't wait to play the next one. I can't stop playing, you know. It's really like, okay, I've had enough. Like I've played a level or two.
You've got your fill in for the time being kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just okay. You know, I'll pick it up again later, and that's really what it's been like, and it's been great
like,
for that.
Have you had that desire to pick it back up, or is it one of those like maybe I should go play it because you know what I mean? Because it's Yoshi.
I'd say it's that.
Okay, so it's all right.
Honestly, yeah. It's kind of like that, but it might just be because of the circumstance I'm in right now, just like with projects and just life that's going on, you know. But it hasn't it hasn't been like Dead Cells.
Yeah, well, yeah,
you know, or like Kingdom,
it doesn't
you know
it doesn't have its talons in you.
No, it's not like I cannot wait to go back and play. But I'd say it's somewhere in the middle. I'd say it's where I'm not like bored with it, but I'm not itching to play it. So. I know that's kind of a downer thing, but that's just true. And I guess that's what I expected from the game. Anyway, coming, you know. I mean, Yoshi's just not my favorite platformer. And Mario is. And you can see how I gushed about Mario Deluxe.
You gusher.
I'm a gusher. And I love Donkey Kong. But I still think Mario is my absolute favorite. It probably goes like this. If I could, we should rank our Nintendo. We should do a favorite Nintendo platformers video. That would be a great one.
Save it.
And rank all of their, all their things. But Mario would probably be on the top. and then like probably Donkey Kong,
Spoilers.
and then like Wario, and then Yoshi, and then Kirby. That's probably like mine. But I'm sure there's more too. I'm not thinking of.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Chibi Robo would be above
Kirby.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe Yoshi even, but
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm not saying I don't like them. I'm just saying I'm in my which ones do I like better? So yeah, we should do that video. That'd be a great one.
Yeah, I'm
spoilers, but I'm not saying that would be it. We'll figure it out.
I'm not saying that's it, but that's pretty much it.
I'm not saying that's it, but yeah.
But that's my stance.
That's my position. So there's this other game. I believe this was the pick of the week on the eShop Roundup at one point.
Yeah. I believe it was last week.
Last week,
I
all right.
reckon.
Well, there's a hint. I'm not giving you more hints, everyone. What is it, Case?
Ultrawings.
You are cleared for takeoff.
Now, when you say Ultrawings and you see the screenshots for this game, you think of one Nintendo property, and you know what that is? F-Zero.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie. It looks like Pilot Wings.
Yes, yeah, they are definitely going for the good old Pilot Wings feel. So you jump into this game and it's weird. You start off in like a little office and like you're looking around like first person, and I'm like, okay. You've got like your laptop.
All right.
You've got like
okay.
It's like you're in this little office. You got your laptop there. You've got like your radio, and you could look around and you hear a little voice over the radio, and it's like, hey, here you go, like get your license. So you start off by going through and doing like a series of little events with the first airplane, which is sort of like. I forget the exact name, but it's got like it's an engine, it's not like a glider, but it's not super fast and it's like sort of wide open. It might actually be considered a glider of some sort, but it's got an engine and it's pretty easy to control. And you sort of go, all right, you got to start the engine, then you got to push the throttle up, and then you could take off, and you steer as you would imagine with the stick, but you also have, you can use the bumpers to sort of just do like little left and right turns, strafing, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going through, and they have like a whole bunch of different activities to do. So essentially, you'll unlock your license, quote unquote, and they're easy, essentially just getting you comfortable with the aircraft, and then you open up a bunch of different things you can do. There's a rush, which is sort of just like, hey, fly through these rings and land within the time limit, Then there is land, which is literally like, oh, go fly to the landing spot and then land there. Course is sort of similar to rush. Then there's pop, which is like there are a bunch of balloons, and you got to pop the balloons as you're going by. And really
sounds familiar.
What's funny is, I was thinking like, when you're in Pilot Wings, right, you sort of just fly through them. But this, you have guns.
Oh, nice.
And like, so in this first,
no, you have guns in Pilot Wings.
Do you like a pistol?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you shoot them. I'm pretty sure.
I'm trying to think. For some reason,
I think so. In Pilot Wings Resort, I think so.
I'm not.
Maybe not though.
I don't know. Like literally,
anyway.
like on because when you're in the cockpit, you see the frame of the plane, and there's just like a pistol holstered on the frame, and you go and you grab it, and like you're just shooting off a pistol. And like
that's amazing.
So the other aircraft has like a machine gun, so it's just like, and now it's like, oh my god, like okay. Then there is alert, which I haven't actually. I think that might be one associated. I have 3 of the 4 aircrafts at the moment, so I haven't actually gotten any alert. So I don't know exactly what that is. Photo, you actually go around, and they'll just show you like this is the area you want to take a picture of, and it's funny because like the one plane, when you just engage the camera, it just like the camera is, I guess, attached to the bottom of the plane, so you just fly over it. But the first one, you actually like grab a tablet and like you need to aim it at the thing while you're flying, which is a little weird to like. It's okay. Now I'm sort of controlling the plane and trying to take this picture at the same time. Then they've got like some other stuff where it's like Balloon is where I think balloon is one where it's like you're popping balloons, but you're also going through the rings. So it'd be like you'll go through a ring, then some balloons will spawn. You'll have to shoot those, and then while still trying to navigate to the next ring. And then race is like you're racing other aircrafts through a series of rings.
Well, that's cool.
And yeah, so the first aircraft, like I said, it goes slow and it's pretty easy to control. So it makes sense that it's the first one, right? The second one is that I think it actually might be dubbed the glider, but it's weird because it's got like a rocket on it. So like you can use the rocket every once in a while to like boost you up into the air, and then you sort of glide from there. And it took me a little bit of time to sort of get used to that, because it's like it doesn't really tell you how often you can use the rocket, you know? So like, and then like if you try and go up too fast, then all of a sudden you'll just end up like nose diving, you know? So it takes a little bit of time to get used to, but not too bad. And then the third one I got is like an actual like fast airplane, and that's the one where it's like the racing comes into effect. But this one has been by far my least favorite of the aircrafts, because it's just sort of frustrating to use, because from the in-cockpit view, it's you don't have a lot of like viewing space, because the dashboard and like the first plane, like it's very much like a wire frame, right? So it's like you could look left, right, up, down, like you don't have too many blind spots. In this fast one, it's like it's the opposite. Like there's not that much viewing space, you know? So
Gotcha.
Some of these objectives are to fly through these pretty tight rings, and it's like I felt like to see the rings, I needed to like angle my ship in such a way that I could see them, but then like I would be going not into it, you know? So it'd be like, all right, I need to locate it and then sort of try and rebalance the plane in the right way and hope that I go through it. Now, the positive thing is you can do like a third over-the-shoulder, quote-unquote, angle, you know? So like that's like
Third person?
Yeah, so essentially that's what I was using for this aircraft. But the other ones I would prefer to use the in view, because obviously if you're popping balloons and that kind of stuff, I actually haven't even tried to come to think of it. I should see how like shooting the balloons would work in that aircraft. But I don't know. I was getting so frustrated last night because that's when I unlocked it, and I was going through the pilot test, and these rings are so tiny that you had to fly through and you had to do it in a certain amount of time, and the game got so unbelievably choppy and frame rate, and I was like, what? And like to the point where I was like, this is insane. I was like, this is like borderline unplayable. Like, how is this? Like, what is going on? And then I was frustrated. I was like, I'm gonna reset the game. Maybe something happened. And I reset the game, and the frame rate was much better after that. So I don't know if it was just like a weird
some sort of leak.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a data leak or something.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was unbelievable. I was getting so angry. And then I restarted it, and it worked better. It was still frustrating because it's like the rings in that one test were so tiny, and like for instance, it was like they were close to the water, and I was like clipped in, and like there was nothing there, or presumably it didn't look like anything was there, and I blew up, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then I realized, oh, there's a telephone wire that's like you could barely see that my wing clipped, and that's why I was, like it wasn't just like a bad hitbox on a tree. It was like, no, there's actually something there. It's just hard to see, Right. And then that's sort of goes into another complaint, is that when you're playing in handheld, even on the screen, but like for some of the camera objectives, you see a picture of what you need to take the snapshot of, but it's not very descriptive. Like you look at it and it's like, oh, okay, that's like an island with trees on it, but this whole area is islands with trees on it, So it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's, and it doesn't give like, so when you click on the camera, it does give you like you need to go higher or lower. And then it does give you like, oh, like a little icon that's red. And then when you get closer, it's yellow. And then when you're over it, it's green and you can take the picture. But like that just honestly ended up being like, okay, I'm just going to fly around this island and like I'm going to look for things that look similar to that, but I'm also going to end up hoping, you know what I mean? Like I hope this is it. So that can get frustrating. And even sometimes, like, the objective is just not, like, super clear, where it was, like, the one I was going through, like, okay, go through rings, pop balloons. And I was going through it, and, like, all of a sudden, like, I'd go through a ring, and then the next logical-looking ring that was in front of me, like, I would fly through it and not get credit for it, and then I'd double back, and there'd be a ring somewhere else that I was supposed to apparently fly through next. But, like, the objective was, like, fly through the rings, you know, like, it wasn't, like, fly through the rings in a specific order. So it's, like, just little things that are, like, frustrating, that's sort of like, well, that's annoying, you know?
Weird.
Yeah. And then, like, I know I'm ragging on the game here. I'm going to rag on it a little bit more. So essentially, you earn money by doing these missions, and it's cool. Like I said, you go into, like, the laptop, and, like, you go through, and it's like, okay, you get a gold, you're going to get this much money, silver this much, bronze that much, and then if you don't get bronze, you fail, and you have to retry. And then you gather money, and then you could buy new islands, which would unlock more objectives. And obviously, the deeper into the game, like, oh, I bought this island, now I can buy this airplane. And that's cool. I like that idea. But, like, the islands are sort of far apart, and, like, you just, like, to get from island to island, you have to do free flight and just fly to that island. And, like, the first aircraft doesn't move very fast, you know? So, like, I was flying to the next island to purchase it. I get there, and I'm like, oh, wait, this island is $80,000. I was looking for the one that was $50,000. All right, let me fly to this other island. And then, like, I didn't make it in time. I ran out of gas, and I crashed, like, 5 seconds before the whatchamacallit, the runway. And that took, like, 10 minutes of flying, like, real-life time, you know? And now, like, what I did was I was like, all right, I should have been smarter and used the other aircraft that's a little quicker. But, like, it was still, like, 3 minutes of just flying over blue ocean, you know? Like, so it's, like, little things so like bizarre, that, man. Where it's like, okay, like, it's not the end of the world, but, like, just give me the option to just, like, buy it and start there, you know? Or, like, fast travel to a certain, like,
well, you know what?
extent.
Pilotwings even has kind of weird stuff like that, I think. At least, I've only played Pilotwings Resort. I've never played, you know, the SNES one or the 64 one, and that's something I need to do. But I know that, like, you know, they didn't even have a free flight mode. And it's just like you're kind of like spending your whole time just getting to a location to do like an island out there to do something, which, you know, I guess is part of it. But I mean, it's just kind of like, I guess the experience needs to be like serene and like fun and to do that. And if it's just like, I don't know, if it's just blue water.
Yeah.
I mean, how does the game look? Have you talked about the look of the game?
Well, yeah, now I'm going to double back. Like I said, I know I was ragging on it there, but I am going to say there are some good things that I like about this game. First off, like you said, the style is really cool. Now, the first island I went to, I was like, oh, man, like, it looks pretty. I like the style, but it's sort of just like a generic island, you know? Like, there was, like, I was worried. I was like, oh, is it just going to be a series of, like, pretty generic-looking islands?
Right.
But the islands are definitely different. Like, one has a volcano on it, you know, and, like, oh, I'm going to...
An island with a volcano.
Yeah, a dormant volcano, don't worry. There's actually water in it.
That's so fun.
But, like, it's one of those, like, okay, like...
Spoilers.
And then, yeah,
Sheesh.
Sorry, boys. And then, like, one I went to, and it had, like, a big bridge and, like, a bunch of hotels on it. And then, like, another one is, like, the agricultural island. And it's, like, there's farms and, like, tractors. And like, they definitely vary up from island to island. So, like, I thought that was cool. And like I said, like, the objectives are, for the most part, are pretty fun. Like, I like popping the balloons. I like when they sort of combine all right, we're going to go through the rings and we're going to, like, fire off the balloons. Like, those are cool. You know, the race is interesting. And, you know, and like the photo, I like the idea. I just wish it was a little bit more clear on exactly what you're supposed to be taking a picture of. Like some of them are more obvious. Like,
it doesn't say it.
Well, it just literally shows you on your little in-screen icon. Like,
I know, but there's no text even.
No, it's just like take a picture, and it shows you the picture of what you're supposed to take a picture of.
Gotcha.
So like,
weird. For
some islands, it was like, oh, like that's a building. And, like, there's a building over there, like, that's, like, it was easy enough to determine what you want to do. Yeah.
There's a building, and there's a building over there.
I'm gonna put 1 and 2 together. But like I said,
go.
when it's sort of just like take a picture of that grassy knoll, it's like, well, I've got a whole island of grassy knolls here. But yeah, no, so there's definitely some fun to be had. Like I don't hate this game. It's just like leaves me like questioning some decisions. Like I said, I'm having fun with it. I'm going to unlock. I'm writing the review for Nintendo World Report, so I'm going to unlock that last ship, and presumably I'm imagining it's on this last island I need to get. So, and like the aircrafts for the most part are fun. Like I said, the fast one, it's a little frustrating to use, but it's not horrible, and it's cool because it is way faster than the other ones, so it's fun to like zip around the island when it's not chopping up on you. But like I said, I don't know if that was maybe just some sort of weird one-off instance, but it was strange. But yeah, I mean, if you really like Pilot Wings, like there is going to be stuff you like about here. It's funny when you crash like on your laptop, like a news article comes up and it's like, miracle that pilot didn't die, and like different like covers of newspapers about how this person miraculously survived a horrible crash.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is pretty
That's
funny.
really funny.
So, but yeah, like I said, it's not an awful game. It's got some fun stuff in it, but it's definitely got some flaws going along with it.
Mm-hmm. Just like a human being.
Yep. It's just like one of Earth's beautiful creatures.
Anyway, speaking of Earth's beautiful creatures, I'm going to talk about a game that I believe this has happened before on our podcast, which is called the month-long embargo. And what happens to that is I get the game and I play it and I can't talk about it for a month. And I play it and I review it and I even get the review out on the site on embargo. But I just completely forgot about it for the Talk Nintendo podcast.
Boom.
And that game is OVERWHELM. I saw this game on Twitter. I was like, this game looks really cool. And I mentioned it to the staff. I was like, hey, this game looks cool. Let's make sure we cover it. And Neil's like, we have a code for it for review. I'm like, well, all right, giddy up.
I guess I'll take it.
Why not? And so, it's like this really cool looking Metroid game, but it's a roguelike, right? So it's a Metroid roguelike.
A Metroid-like.
It's exactly. It's monochromatic. Like it has one color basically, and you can do the downwell thing. Ooh. And change the. You don't
whatever
unlock
color
them.
you want,
I think
baby.
You should be. I think that would have been a really cool thing. Like that could have been a collectible thing, like that you find like in the world, because it's the same world every time. So I guess it's not really like a roguelike. Now that I guess it's
like an arcade game.
It's there you go. And so you go around, and so you can change it to like blue or green, which is cool. But really, I mentioned in my review, it's like Virtual Boy hell. That's what it looks like.
Oh no!
But it's awesome.
But in a good way.
The idea of this game is like you're going into this hive of like beasts, and they're very powerful because you get one hit. If you get hit once, you're dead. So
all right, so it's tough.
It's tough, but you do get 3 lives. But let me talk about so the controls are really interesting too because they're actually like twin stick, even though it's side scrolling. Like you can move around the left stick and then you use the right stick to go in any direction and shoot, and then you also can do a melee attack. You got to be careful. It's weird though, right? Because it's like you do the melee attack in whatever direction you're facing the right stick, but like it's not It's not normal like that because then you got to put the melee because your right thumb is on the right stick. Mm-hmm. That naturally puts the melee and the shooting on the R buttons, which is really weird, right? Because it's kind of like Like the shooting isn't so bad, but melee with an R button kind of gets weird. But you kind of have to do it because over time you can swap the buttons to whatever you want, which is really cool. But it's kind of like it's like the melee attack. I kind of would rather just have it be like just go in front of me, like whatever direction, left or right, and that's what it'll do. And it kind of does that. It kind of doesn't. It's weird, but kind of it's a weird control scheme, but it works. Yeah. But the only thing that sucks is the one-hit death, because a lot of times like the game can like when you get to so you're on this big map, you start in the center and you want to go out on every corner of the map to take out these bosses to get these gems, and you're trying to collect 5 of them, and so it's hard to get to the boss. Once you defeat, and then you only have 3 lives to go there and defeat the boss. Once you defeat the boss and you bring the gem back to the center, then it gives you 3 more lives, like up to 3. But then you go out and do the other one. So, and it's really tough. I mean, and then the cool thing that is every time you beat a boss, it makes the overworld harder. The enemies like evolve.
Yeah, they get,
if you will, into now these guys can climb on walls, and now these guys can fly faster.
Now they do 3 damage.
Yeah, well, no, because there's no 3 damage.
No, yeah,
it's all one-hit deaths. But so it's really a tough game, and the only thing I would say that really stinks is that like you can be doing a really good run, and then you can just kind of miss a platform and then fall on top of an enemy that you didn't see below and die. And of course that's your fault, right? So it's not like completely out of, but it a lot of times because of the twin stick nature, an enemy jumps at you and you aim your gun and you shoot at him, and it's like that should have hit him, but it didn't, and it touches you, so you're dead. And it's just kind of like, why isn't there just 2 hearts? Like, I know I'm sitting here saying, well, it's not
bro.
It's not easy enough. Yeah, I know. And I mean, it's not to the point where it's unplayable. It's just to the point where it's kind of like a kick in the belly, because it's just like
kick in the jimmies.
Dang it. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I was doing so good, and it's like I don't really necessarily want to play this again, because
you felt like you were doing well enough. Like, you don't want to work all the way back to that point.
It's where it's like with Dead Cells, which I know I hate to hold Dead Cells to this regard, but I just think it does so well. It's like you die and you're like, let's do it again, baby. Like, I'm ready. I've learned my error, and I know I won't let that happen again. But this one's kind of like, well, like that might happen. Like in Dead Cells, no matter what, like you're probably gonna get hit with something. I mean, you can be really good. It has a good dodge roll, but it's never like a one-hit death. Sometimes if you're silly, you can get weapons that. Isn't there weapons that like they have really strong attack, but if you get hit once, you'll die or something? But anyway. With Overwhelm, it is a good game, and I encourage people to read my review. And I mean, it's essentially what I was talking about, but it's a fun game, and it's cool, and they really get the ambiance there. When like just kind of that Metroid feeling of being alone and in this
the old
place
isolation.
Yeah, it's very isolated, and I like that. So, Overwhelm, check it out.
Boom.
TenderReport.com.
There you have it.
It was so funny. I was actually, I was talking with Jules about the game, about something. I mentioned, it was kind of a thing that we never talk about this game. Usually we talk about, some games that we're playing. And he said it's so funny. Yeah. Like I actually looked up this game, and I looked up and like, I was like, oh look, he Googled it, and it's like, oh look, there's a review on Nintendo World Report, and he's like, oh, Perry did it. Like, what the heck? Like, it's just so funny. Like, how funny to literally like see a game and then realize that someone did the review. And
my buddy did it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so weird.
This review sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Who wrote the? Oh, it's
no
Perry.
wonder this review sucks. Yeah. Funny, but that's all that we got for what we've been playing.
Yeah, I believe that is it. That's gonna bring us to a quick little break, isn't it? Then we got the old new eShop Roundup.
Giddy up.
eHaw. Alrighty, we are back, and it is everyone's favorite time of the week. We've got
Hey, howdy, hey.
the new eShop Roundup.
The new eShop Roundup. eHaw.
I feel like I normally kick this off, so why don't you, Perry?
You want me to kick this off?
Yep,
Kick this off to where?
to Kicktown.
To the, okay. All right, I'll go with my runner-up. And honestly, this probably would be my pick, but I just feel like it's cheating, so I'm using it as my runner-up. But of course, Donkey Kong 3 is on the eShop this week. Woo! It released from Arcade Archives from our. It's this week's hamster toss, if you will.
The old hamster toss, baby.
Yeah, and what a weird, awesome, creepy game. It's like a shooter game. It's a shooter. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? It's very similar to Space Dave, now that I think about it. That is so funny. It's really similar to that.
Oh, yeah.
In a way, it's kind of a platformer shooter.
Honestly, I never really put those two together,
So
but I can
Donkey
see
Dave already exists. This whole
Donkey
time I've been saying
Dave.
Donkey Dave, and he's right. But dude, what a great game, and it'd be great for Tate mode. And I mean, it's not that great of a game. Hold on, I just mean the concept. It's a classic. See that poor old Donkey Kong looks just like Casey Gibbons, right
Stuck
there,
up there.
stuck up there. Yep, and Stanley, man, Stanley. He's a pet, or he's a, what do you call it? A pest.
Like a
What's Dale? He's a Dale Gribble.
exterminator.
He's an exterminator. Yeah, that's amazing.
What's Dale?
What's Dale again? Yeah, it's just Stanley. I think Stanley should totally make a comeback. And it comes out that Stanley is Mario's and Luigi's third brother.
The exterminator.
It's me, a Stanley.
He didn't follow in the family business, he
didn't follow the
branched
family
out.
name conventions either.
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi and Stanley.
He was like a
Dude,
stepbrother or
that would
something.
be an amazing game. Mario and Luigi and Stanley. The stepbrother, yeah. No, the adopted brother.
Good old Stanley.
The foster kid.
Yeah. Poor Stan.
Good old Stanley.
Stan the man, baby.
But anyway, what's your runner-up?
My runner-up here
for this week's eShop Roundup?
We've got Hob for $19.99. It's actually
Yeah, I
on
saw this
sale for $17.99 until if you're listening to this, until Wednesday the 17th. This is from the fine folks that brought the world Torchlight, which is that Diablo-esque game we talked about. This is an atmospheric adventure game, and it's cool. I actually played this at PAX. I believe it was my first year at PAX.
Oh, really?
I played it they had like a PS4 demo or whatever it was. And it's very beautiful. And it's one of those games where you interact with something and then like the world changes to open up a new path. And it just looks visually really cool.
Is it kind of like FIA? I mean, kind of?
I didn't really play much FIA, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay, okay.
But like, I don't know. I remember I was like, man, I should keep an eye out on this. And then
this game does look cool, dude.
And I'm pretty
really
sure the fine folks at Panic Button did
it's crazy.
did the port.
Yeah, check out our review on Nintendo World Report. I believe one of the knocks was
I believe Neil did it.
Yeah, Neil did it, and that it looks weird in handheld mode.
It's funny to just think, I was just thinking before, actually on the way home, about Panic Button, and I was like, man, they must be eating good, It's like, they were like the ones that got out there just like, we freaking mastered the art of the port to Switch, And it's like, and like, they're getting all the top dogs coming to them,
Absolutely. Now, my pick of the week...
Yeah, I was going to say, what's your pick of the week, Perry?
It's very similar to your Ultrawings, kind of, but it's Feather. This really cool-looking game from Samurai Punk. But it definitely is just like Inner Space. That's what it looks like to me. But on not in a sphere, but on the outside, and you're a bird and you're flying around. But there are some, you do go into caves, and there are some screenshots that look very similar. But that's a good thing, because Inner Space is a very, very pretty game, and this is a really pretty game. And it looks just like it looks like exactly you'd want to play it for the same reasons for Pilot Wings, which is, for some of those reasons being just the serenity of flying around and checking out stuff. And I don't exactly know what the point of the game is, but it says it's about the joy of flight. So
well, there you have it.
yeah. So I like stuff like that. You know, sometimes it's especially like, you know, on a beautiful spring day when the breeze is going and, you know, it's a good 70 degrees and you just have the, you know, you have like the porch open or the window
Cool
open.
a warm breeze.
You have a
in your
nice,
face.
like just a cool, coolish, warmish breeze. And it's just like, you know what? Life's just worth living, isn't it? You know,
Well, there you
and so-
have it.
And that looks like fun.
Feather.
Feather. But what's a feather?
A feather's from a bird.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it's true.
They could also be
They're-
found in your pillow.
Yeah, but those
Depending.
come from birds too.
Yeah. Plucked right off the back.
That is interesting, right? Birds are the only things with feathers, right?
I'm sure there's somewhere some other
probably
animal in
some
this
platypus
the world
exception.
somewhere that has a feather. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Continue.
Anyway, my pick of the week: Mixtermination Force for $11.99.
That's Stanley.
Yep, old Stan. This is from the fine folks who brought us Gunman Clive, the fun little 3DS games. Yeah, so this, I believe, I know John Raridan did the review for the site, and he really enjoyed it. And I believe this is sort of like a boss rush mode. It's sort of like Cuphead in that sense that it's like you're just going up against big baddies and wreaking havoc. But yeah, it looks really, really fun. The bosses are like huge robots, and you're taking them out, and it looks like a combination of like destroying stuff and then sort of working your way up to like a core spot, and then like meleeing like a certain weak spot with a big hammer.
Cool.
And yeah, it looks really cool, and that is definitely a game. I don't know if that might be one I save for like a good old-fashioned Villa de discount. But yeah, I mean, even at $11.99 though, that's a pretty fair price, and definitely I think you should go check it out.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the screenshots right now. It looks brilliant.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like I said, the mechanics look really fun with the different bosses and how you sort of have to tackle each boss different ways.
And that'll do it for the eShop Roundup, which means that, of course, it is time for the news block.
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
All right, so first up we have, you know what it is.
Yes, sir. It's the news we originally forgot to talk about, but now we're bringing it back with vengeance.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Remember
Labo
when we
VR
didn't talk
talk.
about VR. That's so funny. Because it just
Yeah,
kind of
somehow.
came out of nowhere.
Somehow we
But
missed
that's
it.
right. They are putting in support for Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild into the Labo VR, which is just
Peachy.
weird. I mean, it's just weird. Now, mini games will be in Super Mario Odyssey, but apparently Zelda, you know, the biggest Zelda game of all time, you can just play the whole game in VR.
Yeah, I'm super interested.
I don't understand this. Says that everything besides the cutscenes, you know, of course it's at the 720p screen on the Switch, and there's no head strap, so you got to sit there like holding it against your face, or I mean, I guess they should totally do a Virtual Boy stand.
Yeah, well, I mean, someone is going to make a bunch, well, I shouldn't say a bunch of money. Someone's going to make some money if they do like a Labo VR strap and
Well,
sell
there has
it.
to be, right? I mean, if they're doing Breath of the Wild VR, which, by the way, sounds freaking sweet. I mean,
I'm just curious because
Right?
the videos they show us, right, they don't show you like stepping into like, oh, I'm now Link and I'm on the horse. It's like you still see Link riding around, but like I'm curious if you're going to essentially just be the camera, and like I'm still controlling Link, and I can just look around really easily and like still be in awe, like, but I'm going to be like 20 feet in the air looking around, you know? And don't get me wrong, that's still going to be really cool. But like I don't know if it's that or if it's going to be like all of a sudden you do actually sort of step into a first person view. I don't know. The video, like I said, doesn't show that first person view. It very much shows like a aerial view. Same with the Super Mario levels. It's like you see Mario running around and he runs up to the camera, right? I think in the one, or gets close to it. So it's like, I feel like the VR is going to be from the perspective of the camera. And like, I guess it would just be cool to like still be able to swivel around and like look through these worlds. I'm definitely more interested in the Zelda aspect of it for sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. And now I remember with me when I imagined VR before experiencing VR, which I did on not the Oculus Rift, but the other big one.
Oh man, not Oculus Rift. Not PSVR. I'm assuming it's what's the other one? Oh man, I forgot it.
That's gonna drive me insane. By the way, I'm
Vive.
sorry. I have to look.
It's
Vive.
the Vive.
Yes, thank you. HTC. That's what I was looking for. HTC Vive. Yeah.
I typed in VR Oculus Verse and then Vive came up.
Yeah. There you go. So the thing that stood out to me the most was, well, there's two things. One thing being, like even with the top of the line Vive that I was using, the graphics don't look that good. I mean, they're very pixely, and it's like, I mean, they look fine. I'm just saying, I thought it would be like, I thought it would look like a PS4 game, you know what I mean? But it doesn't. That's one thing, because, the pixels are so close to your eyes. The other thing being the what do you call it? The peripheral vision. Mm-hmm. You have no peripheral vision. So it's like looking through binoculars, And that's something I wasn't expecting at all. I was thinking like, it'd be like, it feel like you're like kind of like looking, but no, it's kind of like hold your hands to the side of your eyes so that, like blinders,
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, which is not, I'm not saying that it's like bad. I mean, it is kind of bad, but it's not a deal breaker or anything. And so pairing this with VR on this, like, like taking a Switch and making it VR, like it's just crazy, right? I mean, it's funny how it seems like it's a kind of a big deal, even though it's probably going to end up not being a big deal at all, like with VR. I mean, and I've seen, articles and ideas about, maybe this pointing to where the next Switch is going to go. Like maybe, or
the models
upgrade?
we were talking about.
Yeah, I guess a VR model would be kind of cool, right?
I could see maybe it having some sort of benefit, but I can't imagine
it's
that would be the selling
and
point. Because it's like,
well, hold on. I mean, it could be a really awesome selling point.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, in all reality, like, how much is Labo VR really gonna sell?
I'm not saying for Labo VR. I think
Labo
just VR is its
general?
own thing. But I'm talking about, Nintendo having a system-wide VR capability with their Switch Pro.
I guess.
And so it's like, then games can add it in, and VR games can, they have the PSVR catalog that can suddenly come over here. Now, the thing with me, though, it's like, well, but like, when you set up, like, I wonder how good this is going to work, because, when you set up the VR, like the Vive, when I set that up, it took my whole living room, and it was like, two huge tripods and triangulation and using, like, it is a huge deal. And I think PSVR even, has like the wand and stuff. And
I know people who got into PSVR was like, you've got like a whole octopus of cables all around your living room, like,
right.
So many, like, like,
right.
So this, that, in, and
I have no idea how it's actually, I mean, I think we're looking at Nintendo-ified VR, and it's not going to be like, we can't just port like, I would love it, if Hot, what is it called? That really cool VR game that it has Hot in it. Why can't I think of it?
You can't think of anything tonight.
Man, I know I'm awful.
I'm not sure.
Hold on. VR
Hotline
game.
Miami, but I don't think that was VR.
Super Hot. That's what it's called. Super Hot. That's what it's called. It's really cool. It's like I would love it if that could come to Switch. Like, that would be amazing. But it's like, did the capabilities of VR even allow? I mean, are we just talking about you have a gyrometer on the Switch itself, and then you can control stuff with motion with your Joy-Cons. Maybe, you know. I mean, it's like I don't know what the capabilities are, and it's definitely not going to be the same as a Vive or as a PSVR even. You know,
oh, it's definitely going to be because I know there are people who like. I mean, if you're really into VR, like they look at like even PSVR as being like not that great looking. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Compared
and
to like
like
the other ones when you have like a big beefy computer.
And
so.
PSVR is like freaking like $400 or something, right? I mean, it's like
it's dropped.
200.
It's dropped. I think you could get for like $200 or $250.
Still,
you could
though,
get like
I mean,
everything.
like $250. That's the price of a Switch, basically. You know, and and apparently it's not that good. So, I mean, I've heard it's okay.
Well, like I said, I think it's one of those like if you were
VR
interested in VR and you have a PlayStation, like that's the best way to do it because it's cost efficient. You know,
man, I'm tempted to get. Yeah, I've been tempted like on Craigslist, like to get a VR. Like apparently, like Borderlands 2 like has like a VR version. Like that sounds awesome.
I just know that if I were because I like originally I was like PSVR like. Hell yeah, like I want this, you know? And like especially when they're like you can play Resident Evil 7 in VR, you know?
Yes.
But then
that's amazing.
But then when I really stopped to think about it, it was like I would buy this, I would play the heck out of it for like probably the first week or two, you know? Like you said, maybe you play through like Resident Evil and you're like, man, it's incredible, you know, play some of these and then I would end up not playing it that often, you know? And like it would just like, well, that was a big expensive thing I bought, you know. I don't know because to me,
I understand, and that's why
like,
this is cool that this is just all inclusive on the Switch.
Yeah, with this, and like you said, we know it's going to be like it's going to be like VR light, you know.
Yes,
but,
and which is fine with me.
Yeah,
I mean, if they can simulate something, and that's why that goes back to the whole thing with the VR Labo, which I think is the best approach because it's a really inexpensive buy-in. You have fun building this whole thing, and then you have this cute little game that is probably going to be way more fun of a gimmick than their other Labo, you know, than like the toy piano or something like that. This is something that's it's like this is fun. Like this is actual like VR, and I get like I'm in this world and I get to play. I mean, I just think that's a really fun concept for VR. It's kind of like, you know, kind of taking the reality of what VR is, which is not really a mainstream thing yet. I'm not ruling it out, but it's really far from being mainstream. And it's taking the gimmick of it and being like, hey, this is VR. This is our version. We've been doing VR since 1995.
Yeah,
and
we've been doing this long before any of you posers came into our territory.
Yeah, I think this is. I don't know if we're supposed to talk about this, and I'm not going to, but I will just say that there are things in there that I know I will be really excited to try out.
Yeah, and
that shouldn't be breaking any embargoes.
Nope, and I mean, I think it's safe to say we're definitely going to have some Labo VR coverage next Tuesday because I believe both of us will be be dabbling with it starting this Friday. So
yes, dude.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about it and getting more into it, and it should be fun.
Awesome.
But yeah, moving right along here. Now that we got our VR talk, we made up for the lack of VR Labo talk. Ubisoft to discontinue Starlink toys and all future content will only be digital. No big surprise.
Yeah.
As they were about Barry Dunn. 2 years late to the party as it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know.
It's super cool idea. And I think honestly, like if they had hit that right when like Toys to Life were super popular, I could see that being a big hit, you know?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Because it's a cool spaceship and it's cool how you just pop it off and pop it on like in game.
I think if Nintendo would have just done that and just done Star Fox and done Star Fox ships, I would have all 4 or 5 ships sitting on my desk. I mean, it's just
use
one of those
Jimmy.
things. Yeah, and I think they're cool, and I think the Star Fox ship that I have is amazing. Also, another game I need to play, Starlink.
One of these days.
I always forget I have that. That game looks fun. I need to play it. But yeah, that's no more Starlink toys.
No more.
But they will be digital.
Now, moving along here, we've got some physical / non-physical news, but we'll start with Mortal Kombat 11. It runs at 60 frames per second, which is great. Apparently,
nice.
The character models do take a hit, though. They don't look as nice as the other versions, so that it was hitting that 60 frames.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's fine with me.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Apparently, though, I was listening to the Easy Allies podcast. They were saying apparently they were not letting any Switch footage out because they didn't want people to mistakenly think that's what the characters were going to look like in all the versions, you know? But honestly, we know as Switch owners, like, it's never going to be the prettiest version of any game, you
frames per second over graphics any
So
day,
if it hits the 60
any
frames, ooh, you're not a Mortal Kombat man, right?
I'm not at all. Not at all. I'm not interested in this game at all.
All right. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it. I think, so GameStop's doing a trade-in thing for PlayStation, and I barely play my PS4 anymore. I've beaten my Resident Evil 2. I think I'm going to trade that bad boy in. I'm going to get some moolah, and I think I'm going to pick up Mortal Kombat with some of that moolah. But
there you go.
But yeah, so keeping on the trend of Mortal Kombat here, the total gig size will be 22.53 gigabytes. Only 6.54 of those gigabytes will be on cartridge, and then you will need to download a hefty 15.9 gig day one patch.
That's dumb. Sorry, that's dumb.
Yeah,
that's really stupid. What's the point of a cartridge then? And like,
I guess to save those 6.5 gigs, baby.
I guess, but it's like
just
in the future,
think of David Lloyd. That would save him
Switch
48 hours of download time.
That's true. This is for the Canadians. I know. I mean, I just think that's just dumb. They can fit it on a card.
Well,
it's just, yeah.
What do we know? What the max Switch card is?
I don't know if there is a max, but it's just expensive. It's costly. And I know it makes sense in the short term, but in the long run, you know, I guess it just kind of makes it so it's like in 10 years, I'm not really ever going to be able to play that game, you know, unless you have it downloaded onto your Switch fully. But it's like, what's the point of of having a cartridge? I don't know.
Well,
I think it's dumb.
Well, if you ask the fine people at Bethesda that question, they'll say, well, there's no need for a cartridge.
Yeah, because it's just for a case.
Yeah, because Wolfenstein Youngblood physical copy will have no cartridge. That's right. It will only have a download code, so you're going to get that empty box for your shelf, Perry. And you already know they're going to have that big, ugly white banner on it, so it's not even going to be a beautiful box.
You should actually look up. It's not that banner. It's a better banner. It's still a very ugly banner. But it will be the one for the Fortnite that Fortnite used.
Which one was that? I guess I could just type.
Okay, it's still white. Sorry, I misspoke.
Oh,
it's
so
white.
It's
but
smaller.
It's bigger.
Right?
It doesn't have as much text on it.
It just says internet download and micro SD card required.
Nope. If you look to the right, it's orange and it says download code. No game card is included. But yeah, sorry, it is big and white. So it's dumb.
Well, yeah,
that's so dumb. I mean, whatever. I mean, I guess people want to get that, and it's good because you can buy it. It's kind of like it's a glorified, gift card.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, as us, us two guys who like to have boxes and stuff. Like, if you're gonna have to buy it digitally, like, I guess it's cool to get a box.
Yeah, I guess.
And
of course, the box isn't even that cool.
Yeah,
I mean, because it has that big banner on it.
What's cool about it is it's only a $30 game.
That is cool.
So,
because
I was expecting this to be a $60 game. I don't know.
Isn't it because this is like a
I think it's
smaller campaign or something?
It might be. I think it's like an alternate universe kind of situation, or like an alternate timeline. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you, but $30. The deluxe edition is $40. I'm assuming that probably gets you like some DLC, or what have you. But yeah, I was like, for $30, like for $60, I really enjoyed other Wolfenstein, and like they're pretty fun games, but like for $30, it's like, sign me up,
Yeah, that's cool.
Moving along here, this is a game that I never heard of, but I did see the news bit, and I thought it was interesting. Littlewood announced for Switch. This is a Kickstarter game. that is now coming to Switch. It's described as a life sim in the vein of Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon, where you build up a town after the world has been saved from an evil force. And it just looks like a cute looks sort of like Link to the Past.
Yeah.
You know, sort of graphics.
Pretty. Yeah. It's kind of probably like Stardew Valley-ish.
And
but more Super Nintendo, more Link to the Past-y than that.
And I guess it's, if it has like Animal Cross. I mean, I guess Stardew, you do decorate your house and stuff. But yeah, no, it looks like a cute little game, and I believe there was a decent following or a decent demand for it to come to Switch. So, boom, there it is.
Cool.
You want to take this last bit, bruh?
Bruh?
The bit, bruh.
Smash Ultimate. This is breaking news. Or let's call it the dumb story of the day.
It's a dumb story, a really dumb story, the dumb story of the day. Yep, a really dumb story.
That should be at the end.
So Nintendo released this random trailer for like Switch, and it shows this kid.
I think it's a commercial, technically.
Sorry, did I say trailer? Yeah, it's a commercial, and this kid's playing. And he unlocked Inkling, and I unlocked Inkling, and then he's playing. He's like, hey guys, you want to play? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever, you little noob. And then he it's a good little story.
Smashes.
He smashes him with the killer whale, and it's great. Now, in one of the very
literally the very first bit.
To the normal person, this would just look like that. Like me, I didn't notice anything.
Samey.
But the Smash community is something else.
They're observant.
They did notice that on the very blurry screen of when he puts the Switch in the dock or whatever, when he takes it out, whatever, in the bottom right corner, you can see that there is a very blurry stage builder.
On the menu.
Assumingly on the menu for an update that's coming on the eShop. Now, that's just so weird, right? Like, why would that be in that video? Like, how did that, It's like, did they really just use, like, how could they not just use... It's just bizarre to me.
I think it was on purpose.
You mean just as like as a troll thing?
I just think it's like...
Or as like a sneaky weaky?
Like a little sneaky
Do you think it was sneaky weaky?
A little sneaky weaky, Like, I think it's one of those, like, hey, we'll put a little commercial spot, and then this commercial gets a bump from all now all the hardcore Smash fans are watching this, and now we're getting tons of videos on this otherwise like not meaningless commercial, but like if you're into the Smash and stuff, like sure, we don't need to see this commercial to sell us, we already have it. I don't know. I don't think it would have gotten past a bajillion different sets of eyes. Like, unless if it was intentional, Like, right. You know what I mean? Like, with how many people probably, like, look at the commercial, make sure everything's right. Like, all right, this is there. Like, that's right. Like, I can't imagine, like, they would have just been like, oh, we didn't even realize that, like, the level creator or stage creator was right in it, to me, it seems, like, intentional.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but who knows? Maybe somebody just made a boo-boo and then a million people overlooked it.
I bet that's what it was. But it's funny nonetheless I mean, I guess this was rushed, for a launch. I hope they add in all this stuff that I think is missing. Like that.
I want
I
want the home run contest
online
back. That's what
I want.
I want
that, but I would like an online to not be ridiculously awful.
Oh, it's
in getting a game together and switching items and doing everything. It's so clunky and bad. Like, just make it be like the Wii U. It was great on Wii U.
Yeah, I tried
just
to
at least have that.
I definitely, like I said, I was trying to play the other day, and online is just miserable. And it's
know,
like
it's not fun to play.
And
it feels like it runs worse than Wii U.
And I play with like tethered to the wall, like I have my little dongle and I plug it in with an Ethernet cable. So I know it's not on my end. I'm curious, like I really should do you have that? Do you play with it connected?
Yeah.
Because we should do just you and me and see like if we're both running like through like
we should.
hardline connections, like is it just the other people are playing on crappy Wi-Fi and that's screwing everything up? Or is it like the infrastructure is just screwed, you know?
Yeah, it's bad. We need to have that one guy from that one game at PAX.
Oh, yeah. He knew everything.
Got that. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I'd love for an update for that game. I'm just kind of a little disappointed in that game. It's really cool. It's an awesome Smash. It's great, you know, but the online is really just a mess for me, and that's what I probably had the best.
It's a kick in the stomach, as Perry would say.
Kick in the jimmies.
Kick in the gymlets.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our news, and that means we're going to move into the topic of the show, baby.
But I think we better take a quick little musical number before we get into that show. What do you think?
Actually, you know what? Let's listen to a little commercial. All about a little Pizza Hut thing.
Oh yes, perfect.
So let's just listen to that right now, and then that'll bring us in.
Recently, an object was sighted.
It was big, bigger than big.
Huge, large, astronomically big.
Big would be an understatement.
Very big, huge.
Some guy, big, huge.
When it arrives, you better not be alone. Bigfoot.
Pizza Hut!
From Pizza Hut. 2 square feet of pizza. 21 slices on a tasty new crust. $10.99 for up to 3 toppings. It's bigger than pizza. Bigfoot from Pizza Hut. A legendary value.
You know, that really is a legendary deal.
Top notch, baby. From the one and only.
From the one and only who?
Reginator. Yes.
Reginator!
We figured what better time to do the executive exit segment.
That's right. Probably the only segment that we'll ever have once.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be the only, the one and only executive exit.
Because if we've learned anything from Bowser, it's that once he's the king, he ain't leaving.
He ain't leaving. He ain't taking no.
Nope.
Yeah,
you know who can only overtake him, right?
Mario?
Donkey Kong.
Donkey?
I would love it. Like, Doug Bowser's leaving to be replaced by Reginald Donkey Kong.
Jimmy.
Reggie's back.
Jimmy Kong. Alrighty. So, yeah, we figured with this being the final week of Reggie being the president of Nintendo of America.
Yes.
We figured what better time to do a little look into Reggie's life, a little pre-Nintendo, a little Nintendo, you know, life at Nintendo. We've got some great quotes that I've got pulled up from Reggie over the years, but we figured
the meme king.
Yeah, the meme king himself, the Reginator, Reggie Fils-Amie. But yeah, I figured started off. He was born in the Bronx, New York, baby, not too far from me, on March 25th in 1961. Now, what's cool is he graduated from Brentwood High School, and that is about 25 minutes from where I grew up.
That's amazing.
So, like, I have played Brentwood High School in, like, numerous sports, you know what I mean?
That's amazing, yeah.
So
did you wrestle?
Yes.
Yeah, so did you wrestle people from Brentwood?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What, did you, any Fils-Amies?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think so.
Does
that
he
would have
have
been funny.
kids? I have no idea.
You know what? I didn't really look into his personal life tab for this.
That's probably good. I mean, I don't want.
I think he does.
He probably has to, right?
I mean,
anyway,
he's pretty old. I mean, so like, if he was ever going to have kids, like he would have them by now, you know.
Well,
yes, he has 3 children. There you go. But yes,
Mario, Luigi, and Stanley.
And Stan. But yeah, so I thought, like I said, I thought that was a cool little tidbit for me, at least, that he went
that is cool.
so close to my high school. But yeah, so he's infamously he worked for Pizza Hut in launching the Bigfoot Pizza and the Big New Yorker.
Which is what you heard the Bigfoot commercial, which is what you heard on the show.
And you've seen this Bigfoot pizza, right?
Of course. It's the missing link.
Like, what a beautiful idea. Like, we're just going to have the Bigfoot pizza. It's got a great name, and it's just like 8 feet long.
It really is a great name.
And then you've got the Big New Yorker.
Which is Reggie himself.
Yeah. He's like, we need to manifest myself into a pizza.
How
And they're
about
like,
Bigfoot and the Big New Yorker?
yeah,
Yes.
the big Reggie, the big Reggie.
Reg. The Big Reg pizza.
The Big Reggie. Now, after Bigfoot, actually, he worked with MTV's VH1 network as their senior vice president in 2001 to 2003. And during that time, he was responsible for a 30% increase in ratings. He also laid out implements for the concert's marketing strategy in New York, which collected more than $35 million in disaster relief following 9/11.
Yeah, boy.
So, yeah, that's a lot of cabbage. And I bet, you know, like growing up in the Bronx and on Long Island, like that probably struck home pretty close to him. So I'm sure that I bet you if you talk to him, that's probably one of his like greatest accomplishments. You know, or I'd imagine like that's probably, you know, to raise that much money for the relief of such a horrific incident, you know.
Well, that and My Body is Reggie.
Yeah,
but
well, yeah, 1 and 2. But yeah, then he moved on to Nintendo, Perry.
Yeah, hit 2003, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? 16 years ago, the Reggie started.
Yeah, that's right. It's like someone predicted that he would leave, like not too long ago.
Well, I mean, we all would leave a company at some point or another, you know.
That's what yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You took the easy guess, Perry.
Yeah, the easy guess. With everyone disagreeing with me.
Well, he started in 2003, and he started as the executive vice president of sales and marketing, which were responsible for the sales and marketing in the United States, Canada, and Latin America.
All right.
And, you know, obviously, I think everyone will agree that his first big real step out into the limelight was 2014 during E3, which, you know, would just be about 6 or 7 months after he was hired. And at this point, the GameCube was struggling.
2004.
What did I say, 14?
You said 2014. Yeah,
my bad. 2004, excuse me. And, you know, GameCube was struggling. You know, PS2 was on fire. You know, Xbox was doing its thing, you know, making its claim in the market. And Reggie comes out famously and says, My name
is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass. I'm about taking names. And we're about making games.
Boom.
Yes.
But that was also the same E3 that he actually, you know, remember he pulled out the old DS out of his pocket there. The developer system. Boom. And that was when it was really ugly still.
That's not what DS stands for.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It stands for dual screen.
Developer system, Perry.
Who says developer system?
I know. Well, they had like 8 different. Like I know it's for dual screen, but like I remember them marketing it. It's also
gotcha.
for the developer system because it's so easy to develop.
Yeah. They're just, you know, it's also the Dunkin' or the donut scraper.
Yeah.
You can scratch. I mean, like all these.
The Dunkin' scratcher.
The Dunkin' scratch.
If you got a scratch on your Dunkin'. But yeah, it's so funny because I remember him pulling that out, and you're just like, "Oh my god, what is that? Look at that thing!
What is that thing?"
And he just holds it up.
Was it the silver one?
Yeah,
the big
yeah,
fat boy?
the DS Fat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what a
Awesome,
time to
man.
be alive. Do you remember that E3?
No. I mean, I didn't.
Loser.
I wasn't in. Dude, I wasn't into like gaming press type things until like 2010.
Loser.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember, man. Ooh, I mean,
Loser.
you know about my DS stories of sitting in the
I know.
woods and dreaming about holding that system like Reg was up on the big stage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Reg. Yeah, so I mean, I think that was sort of the time where he solidified himself. Like, okay, like he's going to be the guy at E3, right?
Right. Oh yeah, he's the boss.
And like, it's so funny. I've got just E3 quotes from here. So 2004, you know, obviously we got the My Name is Reggie. DS not only changes Nintendo, it changes our industry. It's a new day for me and a new day for Nintendo.
Yes.
Whew. Those are some heavy hitters from 2014. I did it again, 2004. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I like the one, you know, obviously now in 2006, he becomes the president and chief operating officer of Nintendo of America. And obviously that's, you know, full swing Wii, right? This is the Wii era. You know, in May 2006, about 6 months before the Wii actually launches.
Mm-hmm.
But at E3 2006, I like this quote too. The graveyard of any industry is filled with the headstones of companies who decided to keep doing things the same old way, playing only on the margin, making things just a little better. That strategy works for a while, but ultimately it's fatal. Over the years, our industry has come to accept progress simply by what's on the screen. So obviously
that's such a cool quote.
It's a great quote.
It's everything at Nintendo. Like,
yeah,
that's why I love Nintendo. It is like that quote right there.
Mm-hmm. And especially, obviously, 2006 was such a pivotal time because, you're looking at the trend. N64 didn't do as well as PlayStation. GameCube didn't do as well as PlayStation 2, and now you got Xbox, competing in the realm. So for Nintendo, obviously, it was that, like, we need to shake something up. We're watching, it go downhill. We need to change this up.
We need to duct tape 2 GameCubes together.
Yeah. Put them together. Get rid of the handle. Another quote from that same E3, Nintendo's way is to challenge conventional thinking, not just for the sake of doing things differently, but to do things better. So, bam.
Nice. Well,
and then, I mean, whew, 2006, man. I remember that lead up to Wii and when it was the revolution and, oh, God.
I do remember that.
And I remember, like, they're gonna announce the controller. And, which, like, at the time was like, why are they making a big deal about a controller launch,
And then it's like, oh, that's why. I remember that. I remember my friend Chris sending me showing me a picture of it. Being like, and I was like, what in the heck? And it's like, oh, yeah, it's going to be the virtual console, you can play NES games on it, and you can attach stuff to it. It's a pretty awesome controller, dude. Like, what a great controller.
And it's so funny, too, to think, like, it's like a TV controller. And it's so smart. Everyone has used a TV controller. Everyone.
Knows. Yeah.
So that instantly makes it familiar for anyone,
Exactly. So that's why you have literally 100-year-olds playing it all over the country. And still playing it,
yeah. And and then, I mean, that just went into their whole, remember the Blue Ocean strategy?
Oh, yeah.
And how it's just addressing all demographics would be like a rising tide for the industry and targeting the non-traditional gamers, getting the people who don't play games and getting them in while still, catering to the core gamers as well. Obviously, Nintendo did that. There are plenty of great Wii games.
They figured it out before the cell phone Blue Ocean took over,
and ruined everything.
Pre-smartphone, Yeah, I mean the basic. Well, I mean.
No, it just made it like
ruined everything. That's a good way to. I mean,
you hit the nail on the head.
People didn't have them. People didn't have so the DS and the Wii was just the most incredible innovation.
Yeah, it was
to keep it alive, and then
just think of that time, right? So you go from the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance, 2 great consoles, right? But doing what they're doing, and then all of a sudden now you've got the Wii motion control and all this crazy different ways to play games, the Wii Fit, Wii freaking Wii Sports, everything. And then you've got the DS, 2 screens, touch screen, microphone, gyros. Yeah, like it was really oh, dude. I've told you my Nintendo story, right? Where like on the Insider forums when they were giving like copies away early.
No.
And like, all right, so like they were choosing people from the Insider forums, which was like the Nintendo's official forums back in the day. Like just randomly, they were choosing people to get like an advanced copy to play. I guess just and I remember, dude, I wanted it so bad. I've never wanted something so bad in my life.
Yeah.
I was like, please, Jesus, like. I didn't get one.
Yes.
I didn't get one. But
I'm sorry.
But it made me hyped for when it actually came out, and I bought that game for sure and played the crap out of it. But nice. I just remember I remember that summer I was like, "Come on, man, like pick me." Like I just
what do I have to do? What does a kid have to do?
Who do I got to kill to get Nintendogs? But yeah, just a crazy time and obviously, I get, probably the most lucrative time in Nintendo's career, you know, the Wii, like early on Wii, that is, you know, when things were selling like gangbusters, couldn't keep them on the shelves. To bonkers, man.
Reg, man.
Well, 2007, a meme was born, Perry.
Yes. Was it really back in 07?
07. It was when they were introducing the Wii balance board. Reggie walked on stage and goes,
My body is ready.
Oh, man.
yeah, I mean,
Classic.
Amazing.
Yep. And you know what? I just love that. I love everything about that. And like, I remember there's a video of him showing his Animal Crossing New Leaf Town. And like, it showed like a Wii balance board on there. And he said it like on the video, my body is ready. It's just so good, you know? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? It's so funny, dude. I just think that's hilarious.
From that same E3, this one, it doesn't get as much love, right? But it is just as good in my eyes, and it's just another beautiful quote.
My name is Reggie, and I am happy.
What? I've never seen this one.
All right, I linked it to you. And he's got beautiful pauses on it, too. He's just, my name is Reggie. So
That's
good.
amazing.
Like I said, that one doesn't get the love it should probably be getting, you know?
Right. No, you're right. Because he's happy. And why? What was that about?
I don't even remember.
Good.
But just good old Fils-Amie, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now one of my favorites, absolutely, is this one right here.
Please, no Johns.
Like I said, we could do like a whole episode on just like amazing Reggie memes, you know what I mean?
I know. It's just, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, now,
real quick, Eat the 2012.
I feel just like a purple Pikmin.
wow. Amazing. See, I mean, he's just the king, you know? And he's always going to be the president of Nintendo in my heart.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
forever and always. Yeah. And like you said, it for him it's good because he's going out on top. You know, it's not like the you know, Switch bombed and he's retiring out of shame, you know, or something. It's like he set Nintendo up. I mean, obviously there are a lot of hands in it. It's not like he just did it personally, but like obviously he has a big role in where they are today. And to be able to go out on top and I think like leaving it in good hands, and I feel like, you know, historically Nintendo's made the right decision, right? But then they made like 3 decisions that like were just stupid and like sort of counteracted that good decision, right?
Wii U.
And I feel like now we're getting to the point where it's sort of like, all right, they're getting it.
It has momentum.
You know, they're like things like they're doing the right things here, you know? And
I mean, I know exactly what you're saying, and I do agree. I also think that like they're getting it as in being successful, but as like, you know,
I just think also
there's something very, very special about the 3DS and the Wii U, like the Nintendo-ness of all those things. Like you open up your 3DS and you see the Badge Arcade and you see all these amazing things and you see all these games and it's like Street Pass. I mean, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, no, I what I meant to say, I think more is like, I feel like historically, I feel like Nintendo sort of had their mindset, right? And we're sticking to it. And like, of course, they always do the innovative things, but like, I feel like now they're just like the young blood is getting a say in how things are going too, you know?
Right.
So I just feel like it's in that trajectory where it's like, all right, so it's like you've got the people who grew up playing these games and experienced the frustration of certain things, you know what I mean? And like they're now getting that say in being able to sort of avoid such frustration. Obviously, there's still things like, well, why does Smash Online suck, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Why did you take Street Pass away? Why aren't there themes?
Yeah, I want themes so bad.
Why don't you have a lot more games out that you've made? Anyway, but we go over, and now it's 2017, October 27th, 2017. There's the launch of a certain mustachioid plumber's new game. It's New York, and Reggie.
Oh, Reggie.
And Reggie got to meet the co-host of the Talk Nintendo podcast.
I mean,
Cassie Gibbons.
I know before we were talking about how when he raised all that money for the relief and My Body Is Ready, but that was probably, the pinnacle of his career.
It really was.
It probably what set the retirement, wheels in motion.
Yeah, right. He's like, I've done this now.
I've seen it all. I've done everything.
My body is officially ready.
Yeah.
And, and I like Casey's shirt,
Yep, it is a good one,
I'm so glad I didn't have to see Pert.
Yeah, if the other one was here, I probably would have quit instead of retired.
No, he's like, I would have been on for 15 more years.
Yeah. I'm never quitting.
But yes, and so now we fast forward to February 21st, 2019. He announces his retirement. And his last day is April 15th.
Sad times, man.
Sad times. I truly am sad.
Yeah,
I'm saddened.
I'm sad, but I'm also happy. Like I said, you know what I mean? Like, you got to feel like the guy's worked his whole life, and he has absolutely done amazing things everywhere he's gone. And now he gets to go and live his life out, enjoying it. And I bet he's still going to be, playing Nintendo games and talking to the people there. It's just, now he gets to go home and relax with his family and catch up on, maybe, who knows, maybe he'll hit the professional Smash tournament bracket, once he has more time to practice.
I hate to put this in your head, but what if he went to Microsoft and he went to Xbox?
Maybe that's how Cuphead started.
Oh.
We'll trade you Reggie
Cuphead
for
is not worth it, I tell you what. I don't know what I would think about that. I think that might be a Thatherton situation.
You'd hate him?
I wouldn't hate him, but I would be like, Thatherton. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's he's not going to do that because he's retiring.
Yeah, if he was resigning or if
he was resigning, it'd be different. Then I'd probably be like, oh, he's going to Microsoft, but he's retiring.
And it also wouldn't have been something they would have announced 3 months in advance or whatever it was. I feel like that would be something where it'd be like, okay, Reggie put in his 2 weeks, or whatever, a post on Twitter oh, I'm happy to have worked here, blah blah blah. But no, this seems like they're rolling out the carpet to up to his noble steed to ride off into the sunset.
I wish he was in Smash.
Yeah, could you imagine DLC Character 5 Reginator?
That would be
my body is ready.
My body is ready. Oh man, yeah. So,
we've got one more quote here from old Reggie, 2017. His beautiful little monologue.
The game is fun. The game is a battle. If it's not fun, why bother? If it's not a battle, where's the fun? It's a test that you pass or a quest that you fail. A race against time. Fun and battle always locked together. But the game is also something else. It's a journey, a passport to new worlds, maybe even an odyssey. A look, a feel, an exploration. Close your focus and open your mind. Yes, the journey requires the right ticket. And that ticket is Nintendo Switch. But in the end, it's not just where you can take your game. It's where your game can take you. So let's go.
Amen, brother.
Ooh-wee. We love you, Reg.
I remember typing that out and quoting that when that Nintendo Direct came out on this podcast.
It's a beautiful quote.
Yep.
Nice little monologue.
Good old Reg. And it was at that point that I realized he's leaving.
That was it. That's what tipped you
I
off.
was like, that was just so epic, you know.
He's met Casey and he said that monologue. What else could there be?
Yep. Well, guys, thank you, and gals, thank you so much for listening to Talk Nintendo podcast. We have a lot of fun. We as you can see, plainly see, we love to gush about Reggie. We love him because he's the king, and
I bet the feeling's mutual for everyone listening. I'm sure is.
I hope so.
I don't think anyone is a Nintendo fan and doesn't love the big Reg.
You'd be surprised, but no matter what, one of my goals in life is to get Reggie on this podcast somehow. Now that's dwindling because now I have to go like bother him at his home.
Well, I was going to say, if anything, I think the chances went up dramatically.
I don't think so because like for instance, like, you know, you could have recorded something like when you met him, you know, like, hey, and we could have put it on the show.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, but is that having him on the show? If I was
yes.
like, hey, Reggie, can you say hi? And he was like, hey, Case.
Well, you'd have to say, by the way, if you said Case, that'd be amazing. Like, he's your nickname. Hey, Case. Oh, baby.
Hey there, big fella.
I like your shirt.
Yeah.
No, I want him on the podcast, and it's the goal.
Well, see, now I'm thinking, though, now that he won't be, like, contractually obligated anywhere.
Well, of course he will.
So.
Oh, yeah. He still have.
He's gonna be retired.
Like you've seen like the Metroid Prime 3 guys on like RFN. I remember like they couldn't talk about, you know, they still have contracts they can't talk about.
I'm not saying he wouldn't like come on and spoil every secret they have, but like,
oh yeah, and they have this coming out. Yeah,
but like if he could come on, you know, like he'd talk about some things. I mean, let's be serious. He's coming on next week, guys. We're breaking.
Coming on next week. Okay, got that out of the bag. But yeah, that's great.
Yeah, well, we'll have to find his personal email and we'll blast him every day until he finally either
Reggie@nintendo.com.
Yeah, man, that was way
Reginator.
No, it's not Reggie. It's Reginald.
Reginald@nintendo.com.
Maybe
I've been waiting for someone to email me.
Maybe he's got like a weird alumni Brentwood email address.
I was just gonna say you should go to the 30-year reunion of Brentwood.
I really should have. But I'm here to meet Reggie. But you look awfully young, kid.
Well, my dad is Reggie Fils-Amie.
My dad's body is ready.
Hey, Dad.
Goodness.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that note,
that would be the insane way to meet him.
Yeah, and I'll bring my recorder, and we'll finally get him on, and the quote will be like, "Get this psychopath away from me! Call the police!" And I'll be like, "It still counts." I'll be like, "No, he told me I had a nice shirt.
We have a picture.
He invited me in for a combo."
Okay, all right. Enough silliness, enough wackiness.
On that note,
I think I hear the outro music going. So,
all right, you can find us at Talk Nintendo Pod on Twitter. That's Talk Nintendo
POD.
You can check out our videos on Nintendo World Report TV. We're gonna have some reviews. Perry, I know, has some unboxing up there as well as some reviews.
Yeah, check out my unboxing videos. They're a lot of fun. Now featuring trivia.
Boom. And I was also on the Nintendo Guru Nintendo Talk show.
Bobby.
Over on his YouTube, Nintendo Guru, so you check that out as well.
He's a great guy.
Yeah,
that was a great show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And until next time.
Until next time. Hugs. Recording.
My
With
love,
Oreo right next to me.
I love you.
I love you. Oh, I was the manager for 5 seconds and I messed it up.
Poor Hanky.
Poor hanky panky. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sorry, Donnie. Caitlin just walked in from walking him, and I clapped
You
and
scared
he did like an about face, like. All right.
Like a Tim Allen face?
Yeah. He reincarnated as Tim Allen, and somehow
Tim Allen's still
Caitlin turned
alive.
into Al Borland real quick.
Yeah, he's totally an Al Borland dog.
I love Al Borland, but anyway.
Oh, who doesn't?
I digress.
I don't think so, Case. And I know this is going to sound a little crass, but I'm just working on a scientific theory. I drank a bunch of it yesterday, and I had the most amazing bowel movement that I've ever had in my whole life. Like, seriously, last night. So I'm gonna see if I can recreate it again.
So now you're
on
a believer.
The show.
You're a believer now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No, I mean it was amazing. And I know that's really crass, but
That's okay. Hey, this is
it
that's the kind of
was a
show
very
you get
happy-
here. You know, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Smooth
I should
sailing
probably-
for Perry
I
and his bidet.
I should smooth sailing, exactly. I should probably edit that out.
I don't think you should.
Okay.
It's all right. You didn't say anything too gross. It's not like you used vulgar language.
I didn't. Yeah. And yeah, if you don't know what that is, just ask your parents.
It's a human function. Everyone does it. There's no
Everyone
reason
does
to
it
be ashamed.
hopefully every day.
Yeah, I mean, usually twice, right?
I don't know, man. Some people do it like once every other day.
That is talking about crass. Jeez.
Dude, I know. I was like, what?
I mean,
Anyway.
I don't know if it's the coffee, but I'm good for 2.
Yeah.
Before noon, you know
At
what I mean?
least. Yeah. Oh, it's definitely the coffee.
Yeah, no. Keeps it regular.
Oh, no, yeah, for sure. But man, this grape juice, man.
See, I'm not a
Woo-wee.
big grape flavored fan. Like, I like actual grapes. Like, grapes are great. I don't mind like grape jelly. That's one of the few like quote unquote grape flavoring I like. But like when it comes to like any grape soda or like anything like grape juice, like no thank you, you know?
I like grapes.
And I prefer
like-
the
I like
green
flavors.
grapes.
I mean, cherries are my favorite. Cherry
Like real
flavoring is,
cherries
my
or fake
favorite.
cherries? Like the
Both.
fake cherries are
We're talking
so
flavoring
good.
here.
Oh,
Like
I'm
the-
talking
the-
about
the-
those ones you put on your sundae, you know?
The
Yeah,
what
they
was
got a
called?
name. They come in a jar and they're super good.
Maraschino?
Something like that, yeah. Those are
Maraschino? Why can't I think of that stupid word?
it should just be called cherry because the other ones don't really matter, you know?
Dude, no, that's so wrong. Have you ever had?
I haven't had a
Talk about
real
excellent
cherry.
bowel movements.
It's
my
so
goodness.
funny. Caitlin loves the like regular cherries with like
Dude,
the
cherries
pits.
are fantastic. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, she gets like a bag, like a huge bag, and it's like the next day they're all gone. You're like, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
She goes through
no,
them like hotcakes.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with fruit. The
Makes
best
it
of and more. The best of each fruit is like like a fruit at its peak can basically go up against any other fruit. That's like my opinion of like if you've had like a perfect apple, like crispy, crunchy, and sweet and little sour, I mean, just perfect, you know, or like a perfect banana, like right when it's just perfect
bananas,
ripe.
yeah, when you
Not
get that,
too ripe
that
and
sweet
not
spot on
too
the banana.
unripe, just perfect, you know. Just call me Donkey Kong.
You know what is the best fruit? Better than all of them all fruits
Pineapple?
combined. The raspberry.
The raspberry.
I love a good raspberry, man.
Really?
Ooh.
I would never say raspberries. but they're
Raspberries
delicious.
are delightful. and
Really?
Yeah, man. You get a container of raspberries, man. You're set for life, or maybe like 5
guess.
minutes till they're all gone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I gotta edit that out. Oh no. Okay.
Anyway, yeah,
Anyway,
it's
my
been
goodness.
an interesting little chat here. Normally, we trend in the fast
Nintendo.
food discussion to kick
Yeah.
off the show, right?
Yeah.
Usually,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
talking about how we want a Whopper or like a delightful piece of pizza.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we're going fruit. We're going healthy. This is a new podcast. New podcast.
Well, I was going to say that thank you everyone for listening past the credits for this portion. I think I'm going to just push this whole thing to the end.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Corn juice.